Hockey fans are understandably shook right now by these images of Jeff Petry's eyes, and in this video, I'm going to explain to you guys what could be going on here. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Sutterer, and this is your #1 source for learning about the unique medical side of the world of sports. Jeff Petry's eyes here, clearly abnormal, and people are understandably worried about what could be going on and if he's okay. Just pointing out some of the eye anatomy that we see from the image. Of course, the black is going to be the pupil. That's going to be the space in the middle of the iris, which is the colored part of his eye, where light is ultimately going to pass into the eye, in through the lens, and then ultimately get all the way back to the eye on the retina. The white of your eye is called the sclera, and then like I said, we have the colored iris. So we can tell here that the sclera, the white of the eye, is red from blood. But why could there be blood like this in the eye? Our biodigital anatomy tool here is showing an example of something called subconjunctival hemorrhage. Now, the full differential of what can cause red eyes is actually quite long and depends on the presence of other symptoms. So if Petry is having any itching, any pain, any changes in his vision, those are going to be key symptoms that will influence the differential of what could be going on here and determine whether or not this is something serious or something benign. But more common things being common, subconjunctival hemorrhage is going to be pretty high on that differential. If we break that word down, sub means under or beneath, and so it says beneath the conjunctiva, and hemorrhage meaning bleeding. The conjunctiva of our eye is this thin membrane that lines the inner part of the eyelid and covers the eye. Beneath that layer of conjunctiva is going to be the sclera, and we're going to have blood vessels there. Just like everything else in the body, the eye needs blood to deliver oxygen and nutrients. If you look at your eye really closely, you'll actually see some of those fine little blood vessels, but normally when they're in a normal state, they don't get big or expanded and they don't burst, and so we don't see redness in the eyes. But with all of these causes of red eyes, either those blood vessels are dilated and engorged with blood to make them show up brighter and more prominent in the eye, or those blood vessels have ruptured or burst, aka hemorrhaged, causing blood to accumulate beneath that conjunctiva. When this happens, it can sort of spread and layer around to give this pretty concerning looking appearance. Those little blood vessels can rupture from things like a forceful cough, a sneeze, some sort of trauma, basically anything that causes a sharp spike in blood pressure. They're very, very thin, fragile little vessels, and so that sharp spike from a sneeze or a cough can, boom, kind of cause those blood vessels to pop or burst, giving you that bleeding appearance in the eye. Some other common causes of red eye are conjunctivitis, or inflammation of that conjunctiva, and this can be from viruses, it can be from bacteria, it can be from just irritation, things like allergies. There are some other types of infections of this tissue of the eye that can cause redness in the eye, but those are going to be associated with other symptoms like pain, itching, change in vision. Glaucoma, buildup of pressure within the eye, can cause redness in the eye, and some other things, but I think subconjunctival hemorrhage is probably pretty top of that differential, especially if it's not painful. If it is subconjunctival hemorrhage, it's a very benign thing. It generally resolves within a week or two and causes no long-term issues, except for trying to think about what might have been the underlying issues, such as high blood pressure, which could need correcting. Last thing here, people are probably going to wonder about when you consume a certain substance, how it makes your eyes turn red. In that case, it's because that substance you consume causes a drop in the pressure of the eye, which makes those blood vessels dilate and sort of engorge. So they're not actually bursting, but because they're getting bigger and filling up with more blood, they just become more prominent and give you that red appearance in the eye. That's why it can be used to treat glaucoma, because it lowers that pressure that builds up in glaucoma. So as concerning as this looks, most likely it's something very benign, because if he was having other symptoms like vision loss, eye pain, eye itching, he probably wouldn't be out there on the ice, and they'd be doing other things to sort of manage this and treat this. Certainly the medical staff sees it and knows it's there, and so they're gonna have asked him all these questions. They're gonna make sure he doesn't have any other more concerning pathologies going on. So at the end of the day, most likely subconjunctival hemorrhage, again, bleeding and rupture of those blood vessels beneath the conjunctiva that causes this pretty traumatic, terrifying looking appearance of the eyes. That's it for the video, everybody. I hope you found this interesting. If you were cruising the internet wondering what in the heck was going on with Jeff Petry's eyes. Let me know as always any questions or comments down below, and until next time, we'll see you later.